For once, I scared because I see everybody, the screen all black. I thought later my Zoom got problem or what. It's scary. Okay. So you join on your camera, so at least I'm not so scared. Uh, okay. Uh, so don't know where is Xue Min. I think maybe she's coming in later or what. Okay. So never mind lah. We start first. Huh? Did y'all do the Carbonyl Practice question or not? If y'all got do, can I see a thumbs up? Eh, okay, have ah. Then how come never send me to mark ah? Okay, shy lah, shy. Never mind. You want me to check ah? You just send me to check for you. Okay. Okay. So question 7, right? It's about distinguishing various substances, right? You got 3 organic compounds here, which are the butane 2-ol, butanol, and butanone. And then you got a solution of iron 3 chloride. Okay, so first you want to identify this Fe3 plus. So how to identify? Jiaxuan, what do you use?
This question I didn't know how to do.
Okay, how about Kellyanne?
I didn't know how to do also.
You also okay. Carrie, what do you use? Are you showing me your screen? Oh no, like she just lifting out her paper. Okay. Cannot see, man.
I think my answer wrong
Never mind, you say lah. Who knows? Maybe correct.
I just write the distinguishing test for each of the reagent, each of the what's that? The substances. Then conclude the one that never react with any of them is iron 3 plus.
Okay, then like that cannot already lah. That means you're doing elimination.
Yeah.
Hi, Xuemin. Xuemin, are you here?
Hello.
Okay. How come appear then disappear again? You turn on your camera so I can see your face. Okay. Okay, very nice. Xuemin, we discussing Carbonyl question 7 to 9 first. You got do or not? Okay. If got do, show me thumbs up. Okay, no thumbs up. Okay. For 7 part 1, actually you all think too complicated already. It's very simple. You just think your QA test. That means you can use, your equals NaOH or equals ammonia. It's very open-ended one. Correct or not? So you can use your equals NaOH. Equals NaOH or equals ammonia. Remember, for both these reagents, right, you will see a reddish brown PPT. Insoluble in excess. But if let's say you want to think complicated, right, I tell you, you can use the organic chem reaction that you learned. Do you still remember you learned one organic chem reaction like this? Remember your phenol, right? And then you add something. It gives you a violet coloration. Can you remember this? Carrie, you still remember what do you add? Don't remember, okay. Share me then. Can you remember not what you add? Phenol add something, give violet coloration. Hey, y'all must do the cue cards more. Okay or not? Serious otherwise later school reopen then you just left with like 66 organic chem reaction to study. Oh, headache already, Okay, so you make use of this holiday. I should say like holiday, right? to brush out on your organic chem content. Remember what I say? Organic chem, the content is actually the biggest out of the sections in chemistry. Other things you can cram last minute, but organic chem very risky. So organic chem better to be consistent. Okay, so what you add here for phenol to get your violet coloration is this thing called neutral neutral, FeCl3 aqueous. Oh, this is that ligand exchange reaction that time we saw in the hydroxy compound section, correct? So in this case, you can adapt that reaction to identify the Fe3 plus, meaning what you do? Remember, the original reaction is neutral FeCl3 aqueous, right? So here, you add neutral phenol. Because remember, the reaction need to be in neutral condition, then you see the violet coloration. Fe3 plus by itself, right, is actually acidic law. So if you just add phenol, right, you won't see the violet coloration. That's why you need to turn up the pH a little bit. So that's why I say add neutral phenol. Oh, and then you will see a violet coloration. Okay. So if I can move on to the next part, can you show me a thumbs up? Yes, okay, Jiaxuan. Very good. Okay. So part 2, right, you want to identify the rest of the organic substances. So this question is actually quite flexible. If you want, you can use test for all three. If you want, you can also use elimination to identify two out of the three. And then the last one automatic is the remaining one now. Okay. And the tests that you can use are also quite flexible. So let me check around. Caris, what are the tests that you use?
For beta 2, all I wrote SOCl2 at room temperature.
SOCl2 must hit carries. Yeah, but
Oh.
can. Yeah.
Oh
The
shit.
PCl5 then room temperature, but SOCl2 must hit. Okay. And then?
And then for butanol that I said filling solution and warm.
Very good. Correct. Very good. Then how about Callian?
I did the elimination method.
Can. So?
I added KMNO4 in H2SO4.
Can.
That it heat. Then
Yes.
to differentiate between the aldehyde and the alcohol, I use filling solution.
Very good. Also can. Jiaxuan?
I also did the same. But I think for the butanol, I did the K2Cr2O7.
Can. But you know that
in
one can also...
H2SO4 heat under reflux.
That one can also react with the aldehyde. And also when you do distinguishing tests, you don't heat under reflux because must be do in test tube. So you just say heat will do. Okay? 学敏呢? Okay. 学敏 means her paper in front should be blank one. You know they say 无字天书, right? Hey, 学敏, so you try to do the questions again by yourself. Okay? Because this kind of question, right, actually is 3 marks one. Very easy to get the marks once you know the test. So let me summarize the test you can do. For your alcohol, right, you can use sodium metal. This one gives the effervescence of hydrogen, right? You can also use SOCl2. Caris use SOCl2. Or the equivalent of SOCl2 is PCl5. That one also can. You can also use the dichromate, acidified or manganate acidified. Okay, also can. And then for the alcohol, right? Do you realize something or not? Do you see this? You realize there's a special group, right, Kellyanne? What group is that?
Methyl alcohol.
Correct. So you can use
Triiodo.
Yeah, triiodomethane iodoform test. So this one can also use iodoform. For the ketone, you also got the methyl ketone group, right? Can you see? Because your butanone is basically the oxidized form of your butane 2-ol. So for the ketone, you can also use the other form. Your ketone cannot undergo oxidation, but it's still a carbonyl compound. So to distinguish carbonyl compounds, you can use Sherwin. If I want to distinguish a carbonyl compound, what can we use? 2,4? Correct, 2,4-DMPH. Very good. 2,4-DMPH give the precipitate, your bright orange or bright red precipitate with a carbonyl group. Okay, so for the aldehyde, right, you can also use 2,4-DMPH. You can also use dichromate, but dichromate we have the alcohol also lah, so that's a disadvantage. You can also use the Tollens test and the Fehling's test. Okay, both also can. Oh. I forget to take your attendance. Let me take it now. Give the recep a big smile. Okay, nice. Okay, so for this question, right, there's actually a couple of ways to present your answer. You probably write in statements, right? Correct. Like you say add da 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 to da 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 da. Correct. Then after you give the observations. So that's a way, but it's just a bit wordy law. If let's say you want, right, you can consider using another way. This is the flow chart, the reaction scheme way. Meaning you got the 3 compounds here, right? Imagine here you got the 3 compounds. Then you decide on what test you want to use. Like for example, Carries use SOCl2, right? So you will put here like that, SOCl2, and Carries, what's the condition? RTP, No lah, not RTP lah. Warm, SOCl2 must warm, okay? SOCl2 warm. Okay, then one side, right, you have the what observation? The fumes, right? White fumes of HCl, correct? Then the other side, right, you got no white fumes, right? Then the white fumes one, you know, is the compound already, is the alcohol already, right? Then the no white fumes, right, will be the other two, right? Correct? Then after that, you do another test, right? Correct? Then you put the reagents and conditions here, the observations here, and the negative observation the other side. And then you got the other two compounds already, lor. Can you see if you write this way, right? Wow, it's actually much faster. And the points all there also, right? The reagents, the conditions, the observation, all there also. Okay, so you can consider this way to present your answer. You know, if you have this kind of distinction test question, also can. Okay. So depending on the reagents and condition you use, the safety precautions might differ a little bit, lor. So Jiaxuan, what safety precaution did you give? You just give one can already?
Huh? Sure. I just anyhow write
Anyhow,
and say wear gloves.
Correct. Wow. Okay. Why must wear glove? You tell me why must wear glove.
The substances used could be corrosive.
Yes, correct. Correct. Why you laugh? Correct. What?
Huh?
Remember
okay.
you use what acidified K2Cl2O7, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Acid is corrosive, right? Isn't it?
Oh.
Agree or not? So reagents use, for example, the sulfuric acid, right? If let's say you use aldophor, right, inside got alkaline, correct? If let's say you use 2,4-DMPH, that one usually also used with sulfuric acid. So it also corrosive. Yeah, so your reagents used are corrosive. So essentially your precaution is to avoid direct contact. So you're wearing gloves to avoid direct contact. Then how about Kelly Ann? What precaution did you give?
I didn't know what to write.
No, you just think in terms of the lab. Like, okay, you do this experiment with your this reagent and condition in the lab. What could you possibly face, lor? Okay, what dangers, what hazards you face, Then, based on the hazards, right, you think of the precaution that you avoid, lor. Okay. How about Carrie's?
I say carry out the test in a fume box.
Very good, because you got fume of HCl, right? The fume is toxic. In fact, even if you don't have the fumes of HCl, right,